Shut up!
People born by freedom won, yet held in precarious station. Set upon defense and sealed his will to guard and protect his new nation. So he resolved to find of all who would challenge his right to be free. With a swift-sailing vessel and 10 carriage guns to hunt the world's oceans and seas. Born to go into harm's way, from all ye hell or high waters be damned. No lightning, no thunder, nor hurricane hail can stand in the face of his wrath. Beneath his enemies sleep like cloud where the gates cannot grow. The tide that rise, every last man shall shake to the core of his soul. For submerged operation by OpScan 48 Tech 18, confirmed with myself, serving as 1385 fathoms beneath the keel and checks with chart. I am verifying that my water team is ready to disrupt the ship. I intend to support the ship for one
Oh, shut the front door. No, we're not doing all that. Oh, shit. Caught me with my pants down again. This is the theme of the day for me. Getting caught with my pants down. What's up, man? I hope everyone had a magnificent Christmas. I was getting ready to say Thanksgiving. I don't know why. I don't know. As you guys all know, Jason, what's up, my brother from another mother? As all of you know, this is not a kid-friendly show. Now, if you come from a place like where I come from, and well, there's natural light cans laying around, and pit bulls tied up. You come from that neck of the woods, chances are your kid's probably hear worse than what I'm going to say anyway. So I don't give a shit. You're their parent, not me. Fuck, man, kids curse worse than we do anyway. It's unreal. Huh. I remember, on that note, and this is why I'll say this. There was a time where I was still in Illinois, and I'm picking what's going on, man? Let me slow my roll for a second. Hold on. I'm all yoked up, man. Wanting to talk to y'all. It's been a few days, and look, I'm not gonna lie to you. I got to be honest, especially to my supporters, those of you over in Patreon who are supporting me. I had a really tough time over this Christmas, right? I got to be honest. I did. And really still am. My depression got really bad. Really bad. And I nearly had an anxiety attack, I think, over the weekend. It was like I had this intense pressure in my chest, and man, I woke up and I was supposed to go with Marina to go and watch her nephews and nieces unwrap gifts, right? And so I consider them my nephews and nieces as well. Wonderful kids, man. I love them to death. They're a lot of fun to be around, and they bring me a tremendous amount of joy just to be near them and to hear them just be kids, man. They're funny. All the, the things that they say and what they do and their thoughts and ideas, and they bring a lot of fulfillment to my life. But on Christmas Day, dude, I couldn't do it. I start to get emotional just thinking about it. I couldn't do it. I thought I was going to have just a fucking nervous breakdown. And there's many of us like that, and I got to walk out, and if I go upstairs, and if I go through the living room here to come up here to my office where I'm at right now, I got to go right by the Christmas tree, and it's a beautiful tree. Marina did a fantastic job. Jesus, dude, it is a gorgeous tree. It looks nothing like, the Charlie Brown National Lampoon's Christmas tree from my days as a boy. You should have seen some of the shit we hauled up. It was nothing like that. It was immaculate. Just her and I picked it out over at this Christmas tree farm that we go to each year. And it's a real cool experience. It's just a real fun family experience because they've got a cabin that they built over there, and it's just got this real warm, inviting, just Christmassy feel, man. It's just amazing. And all kinds of neat little things outside, for the kids, and gigantic hay bales, and like people dressed up in snowman costumes. Speaking of which, we watched I think he was in a snowman costume. They got a few different characters running around up there, like those real huge, like mascot type suits. Anyways, he like tripped over on the porch, and he was trying to play it off like nothing happened. And I'm like, I saw that shit. I saw that. Anyways, I've not gotten to take my kids there yet. This is the third Christmas in a row that I haven't seen them or spoken to them, and it sucks, man. You know, some dickwad in here early on is like, "What's Cash going to bitch about today?" Well, I don't know. The same thing I bitch about every day, dude. Waking up and not seeing children that I helped bring into this world. It's kind of a fucked up thing that somebody like you has to, find the time to drag people like me that just want to be dads. I mean, the horror, the fucking horror that there's men that want to be fathers to their kids, and you've got nothing better to do than come over here and troll me. But, you really just highlight for everyone else the ignorance that perpetuates America still today. And, you've got absolutely no couth. You've got no principles, morals, or values about yourself that, fine. Take out whatever, anger you have towards me. Take it out on me. Fine. I don't care. But in the process, 2 innocent children are being hurt. So there's that, so hate me as much as you fucking want. But at the end of the day, 2 innocent kids that love their father are being harmed. And you don't say a goddamn thing about that, do you? You righteous, pretentious prick. I'm not dealing with these people, man. I'm just not fucking doing it. I don't care who they are. And it might be some, Russian dragnet. I don't know. Some communist firewall out there to fucking piss off people like me, but I'm going to tell it to them like it is, just like this, and in their face and in person. And, if I go and testify in front of any committees this coming year, it's probably going to be just about like this. And I don't give 2 fucks what they say. I just don't care. But anyways, I digress for a moment. It's, we've got a lot of things moving and shaking, and I'm really thankful to my supporters. Look, I want to tell y'all something. We're getting ready to finalize a lease and go in on a brick and mortar location where we're going to start broadcasting not only this broadcast, the War is Hell podcast. We're going to be building out the Veteran Liberty Network, where we're going to be looking for people from all over the country. Okay. And I'm really what I'd like to get to is where we have people here in this community, good people, right? Don't bring no shitbirds down here. No shitbirds. Okay. If you're like some fucking crazy, racist, or if you're like a super commie or super fascist or something just extreme, stay the hell away. Just don't even come down here, man. Don't bring no bullshit. Because if you bring any bullshit to my town, I'm going to throw you the fuck out of this town. Right. And I'll tell you that right now. You'll get run out. If you come down here with any bullshit, don't bring that here, man. These are good folks down here. And I love this town and I love these people. And I'll see no harm, befall any of them if I can help it. But we want, we're going to have a kind of a Main Street studio, if you will. And we want people from all backgrounds to come in, man. Look, I don't give a shit where where you're from, what your belief system is, but you do got to have some talent. I will say that, now I'm not saying I wouldn't put you up front on a show and put you on our network. If we bring you up in some areas, but I'm not saying you got to be wicked talented like the wonderful executive producer CJ Abernathy either. I'm just saying you got to have a few skills, man. I mean, you got to have something. And me and this guy have kind of been going at this for a while, so we figured out a lot of things between the two of us. So, and that's one reason the support over at Patreon is really appreciated, right? Those who have signed up for memberships over there, that's helping me to be able to get that Front Street studio, right? So we're going to have an all, the vision here is that we're broadcasting from in a small town, and it's going to be a working man's news network and media. I want to network the working men and women across this world, because I've got brothers and sisters all over, man. Up in Canada, I've got a big support base up in Canada and the UK, man, and Australia. Those 3 places, there's quite a few people that support me and have for many years now. And I mean, like really good friends. Like, yeah, I'd consider them family, and I've never even met them because they've just been a wonderful support system. And we're growing this network all the way across the country. Okay. Look, here's what we're learning, right, between ourselves and in our discussions around the campfires and the garages and the construction sites and the oil rigs. The consensus amongst the working men and women of this nation is that we don't give a shit how you live your life. We fucking don't. And it's really hard as a white guy to get that through to Republicans. I've got so many friends down here that are Republicans. And when I have a one-on-one conversation with them, they have the same belief. They go, yeah, I don't really care. Right? Like, honestly, they don't give a shit. You know, the Republicans that I know, most of them, they don't care about if you smoke cannabis. They don't give a shit. They probably do it them fucking selves or their family members do. They don't really care. Gay marriage, they've got a first cousin who's gay. They don't really care about that either. You're a minority, they don't give a shit. Okay, I'm telling you. It's the confusion between the two parties and thinking that they know what's best for us and they don't. They're representing a very minute, albeit loud, demographic. Authoritarianism exists in both parties, right? I wouldn't want fascism like what Hitler ushered in any more than I would want something like communism that existed in Russia and China. I wouldn't want either one of those, right? And that's what we're talking about on the extreme side. And again, we're talking the extreme sides here. But there's a very moderate, like blue dog Democrat out there. There's the very moderate, Republican that would consider themselves more socially liberal and fiscally conservative. You're pretty much kind of fucking libertarian, man. You know what I mean? You are. You're pretty central. And at some point in time, somebody's got to start taking the mature step to go, you know what? He's right, man. We shouldn't be paying the shit out of all of these fucking taxes. I mean, what an insult to the American people. You're bought for $2,000. You haven't gotten a stimulus check since that $600 stimulus check back in April or whatever it was. So like 9 fucking months, dude. And I want to ask you something. Okay, you got a $1,400 difference. Whoopity fucking do. They killed small business, folks. They murdered the liberty of small business owners. They're still doing it. Was just in a gas station right up the road from my fucking house. Been in there many times. I don't wear that stupid mask. That face diaper, I don't wear it. It's my prerogative. I'm not putting it on for your comfort or peace of mind. I don't give a fuck. Right? I just don't care. And does that make me selfish? Yeah, it does. You know why? Because every time I put it on, it's like it's suffocating me. And I've readily admitted that I've got a mental health problem. The mental health being major depression, which is caused from family courts, caused by state overreach. My depression that I get a 70% disability rating for, okay, I'm diagnosed with major depressive disorder. It stems from family court, not seeing my kids. You understand what I'm saying? State overreach. That's the correlation here. Violation of natural liberties. That is, in fact, what the continuing theme is. And working men and women across this country agree with me. But there's for some reason, we don't have any real mainstream voice saying this. There's like nobody up there. There's no Rush Limbaughs of the fucking, of the moderate, of just the common sense. I mean, literally, folks, common sense has no representation in this country. We don't have it. We have to build it. That's something that I'm working on doing, is building a large network of just common fucking sense. I mean, I can't be the only one sitting out here in the middle of the dark, scratching my head going, do I really need to go to the state for a license to enter into a personal relationship and lifelong commitment? Do I really need to go to the state and give them money that I labored for to marry someone? I mean, ask yourself that. What involvement or business does the state have in your marriage? On the surface, it looks like a fucking smooth deal, right? Because there's a ceremony that goes with it, right? It's all beautiful. It's all decked out in flowers and song and diamonds, right? Champagne and wine. The entrance into the agreement and the contract with the state on the surface is beautiful. You've got a beautiful certificate. Think about how beautiful your marriage license or certificate is, right? You frame it up. Most couples frame it up, and it might even go in the photo album with all of those beautiful photos from that wonderful, amazing day that you spent fucking $20,000 on. One hell of a night, fellas. One hell of a night. And what'd you get in the end? You deployed overseas and you came back to Jody banging your old lady while your kids are left over to mom and dad's house while she's out fucking spending all of your deployment money or your re-enlistment bonus, right? And then you try and work things out, and come next deployment, you come back, and on that second round, now she's emptied out your whole apartment. She's taken all of your furniture and she's emptied the fucking bank accounts, and there's not even a Dear John letter. You have no idea where your kids are. That, men and fathers, prospective fathers, is what you're inheriting in this country. And you would be wise and prudent to begin to listen to men like me that are forewarning you of the extreme dangers. It's not just like a personal advice of, hey, don't get married because I fucked it up and, well, it didn't work for me. No, dude. Here's the deal. America is not fucking safe for you as a father, as a man. And because it's not safe for you, it automatically makes it not safe for the woman. Because the father is the primary protector and provider, intended by God and nature. Whatever you fucking believe, I believe both. Because God created nature. But regardless of your belief system, it was intended that the man was the protector and the provider. And if it's not safe for the protector and the providers in this nation, it sure as shit ain't safe for the mothers either. It's time for real talk in this country about what we're going to do to fix this shit. There's plenty of folks that are well suited for being out there lobbying in front of these legislators, wearing suits and ties. We have some very capable people to do that. They're very educated. They're very professional. They understand it, right? They get the demographic. They're well suited for that area, right? And there's a confusion that I'm well suited for that area. I believe that I am, but I'm not going to be representing the demographic that the other people represent. I'm going to be representing the demographic of people that come from where I come from, the ones who don't get that fucking voice, right? It's there and it exists, but too many people where I come from, that come from the fucking trailer parks down here in the South, I'm proud of where I come from. I come from very humble, difficult beginnings. Could have been way worse, could have been way better. But they were difficult. And they have shaped me into the person I am today that cares more about not just an entertainment value. I want there to be entertainment, because if you're not entertained in what I'm fucking saying, you're not going to tune in. Okay? There has to be a reason for you to stay. And for some of you, the reason is a little bit more than just the knowledge that I'm laying down on you. For some of you, it's an intimate personal connection with another human being that you know is speaking the exact shit that you're fucking feeling, but nobody in your family, nobody in your social circle, nobody will fucking say it to these people's faces and on the air the way that it should be said. What's occurring in this country amounts to taking our children and consenting to entering into a lifelong commitment and relationship as a servant to a master. The master being the state being anything and everything government. The state isn't just Arkansas, Louisiana, Illinois, California, New York, Florida. No. It's your local government. It's your county, your city, your municipality. It's the federal government. All of the state level government. What has happened and what is continued to transpire throughout our time here, okay, in these lands that were in fact, what is painfully true, was conquered. These lands were not stolen. I believe that's the improper term. I believe conquered is a more appropriate term, but it's not one that people are comfortable with using, because then it deals with a harsh reality that, well, there was a winner and there was a loser. But that's the fucking fact, right? And humanity continues in this struggle of righting these wrongs by our ancestors. And we've remained on this uneven ground, and I'll use some sailor analogies or what have you here, or even say that we're on an ocean, okay? And we're trying to find calmer waters, right? We're trying to navigate this ship of America through these difficult waters, and these difficult waters were caused and created, the chaos in the ocean was created by the trauma handed down from generation to generation of man doing wrong unto man, because we can't get to a simple common sense understanding that the radicals are the ones who rule the fucking world. The radicals rule the world because those are the ones who will do radical things to get what they fucking want. That's why they get what they get, because they're willing to go to the extreme to get what they want. Moderates and independents, those of us with a modicum of common sense, human decency, and rationale, and can have a civil conversation with people about what government should and should not be involved with, can generally come to some peaceful conclusions in some areas where we can agree on how to move forward. It's the extreme left and the extreme right that is going back and forth at one another. And it's like two tsunamis colliding. And it just generates those of us that are in the middle of this shit storm. We're just all caught up in it. We don't know what to fucking do, man. We're just getting tossed about like a rag doll. So it requires us to now build a network here, okay? This is what we need. Okay, we need a two-way conversation here. Not just me talking at you, but us having a dialogue and a discussion on how do we fix this crazy horse shit. We all know it's crazy. This stuff ain't right, man. We can see what's happening. You don't need a degree in law to understand when your basic due process rights are being violated. We could teach that shit down in fucking 5th grade, dude. I mean, they could comprehend that stuff. So why don't we? Our education system should be building our kids for the reality of the world that we live in. And the reality of the world that we live in is that government seeks to exploit the worker wherever and however they can. And that's what they're doing. They will tap into you. And here's an example. In your state or your county, wherever you live, what's the legal working age? At what point can an individual go and get a job, right? Where it's recognized by the state as this is an employee in the state of Arkansas, for instance. I think in many states it's 16 years old. 16, 17, right? I think might even go down to 15 in some states. Hell, might even go down to 14. I don't know. But let me ask you this. Do they or do they not pay taxes? Do they extract money from that young person's paycheck that goes to government coffers? Yes or no? I'm not going to look up every state, but we know that it exists. What's the point that I'm making here? Okay, draw the line conclusion for me. Thanks, CJ. We'll read this. The Labor Standards Division enforces Arkansas's child labor laws. Child labor laws regulate the employment of minors. In most cases, a child must be at least 14 to be employed in the workforce. In order to employ a child under 16, the employer must obtain a work permit from the Arkansas Department of Labor. You see what I'm saying? Now, I believe, and I could be wrong here, and feel free to correct me. Anytime I'm wrong, double check me. Say, hey, Cash, this is wrong. Here's the source. Boom. Okay, thank you. Sometimes I'll be wrong. And it might just be, I just might be stoned. So help me out with that. Anyways. Yeah, I can't read all that. It's a little small for me. I kind of can. Either way, if they're paying taxes, okay, at 14, 15, 16, 17 years old, what do they not have the right to do? They don't have the right to vote. We're teaching our kids it's perfectly fine to be taxed and have no representation. How dare us? How dare we allow for that to happen? Am I wrong? If somebody has a rebuttal to that, feel free. Should our kids be paying taxes when they cannot vote? You see what I'm saying? Jody Lynn, no, I apologize. Let's not. You never respond. Well, we can't use the term never, at least not anymore. How are you this evening? Thank you for joining us. Thank you. See, and this is what I like. I like working together with you. I love, and this is, for me, this is a new style of learning, right? Because I get to have kind of an interactive classroom and discussion at the same time here, where as working men and women, we can let loose for a little bit and say, look, there's ways to learn about what's going on in this country where it's not fucking boring. It's not dry. Because let's be honest, not a lot of us just deliberately seek out on this endeavor to expand our minds and knowledge about, local, state, civil government, and how it's impacting our lives. But we need to, like teaching our kids to invest. If we're not teaching our kids to invest, and if we're not investing with our children now, if we're not doing that, we're fucking up, folks. If we want to get our kids up out of poverty, and we want to get our families onto more stable footing, we need to bring back family units. We need to bring ourselves back together in communities where we can live alongside one another peacefully, where we can work together, help grow one another, help build one another. That's what I want. I don't really know what you guys want, but it's like, I don't know why we can't have, more fulfilling lives together as human beings on this planet by bringing our family units together. I've got people moving here from all over the country, oddly enough. And they are, buddy, this guy, met him through the movement and stuff. And he's an Army veteran, and 23 years in, and, hasn't seen his kids in over 3 years. He was on that CNN special with Lisa Ling and Carlos Rivera and the rest of those guys up there in New York. But he's moving here. I've got, friends and family and stuff that are all looking at moving here because they see what I'm trying to build, man. What I want to build is a community where, look, we know one another. And I think one of the best ways to do that is get the hell out of those big cities, even a lot of those mid-sized cities, man. Get out into a small town and contribute and be a part of something. Yeah, you're going to incur more difficulties. Yeah, there's not, you're not going to have the higher paying salaries. But what's all that money getting you anyway, dude? It's getting you a shit ton of stress and fucking taxes, man. You're breaking your back for the man. You're giving it all over to government, right? What a smile on your fucking face. You're waking up in the morning, back's hurting, legs are hurting, hands hurt. Dude, I know, man. My hands are fucked up. My feet are, my knees. And you getting out there doing it for the man. You're giving them more of your money, and you don't have to. We got to be smarter about things. Okay? We have to learn to open up businesses. We have to learn to protect our assets and things that we make, and make sure that it gets handed down to future generations. Because the way that this system is structured right now, when your fucking relationship fails, right, or when your family members die off and you're left there yourself, you got the state seizing your property every which way you turn. Every which way we turn. They've got legislation written and control written into their domestic policies to make you go through them. And the only reason they do that is for fucking control. And they are controlling you. If you go before you get married and you say to yourself, well, we can't get married until we go down to the courthouse, you're a part of the fucking system, homie. And you are. You and your kin, all of you. When we allow them to control us in such a manner, we get exactly what we deserve. Right? We're reaping what the men before us sowed. They allowed this shit to happen. And it's going to take a mighty strength to pull it back. It is. It's not going to be easy. Once you give control over to government, they latch onto that shit. Man, they latch on. It's hard to get it back. Once you give government control of something, it is hard to get it back. COVID amounts to a massive power grab by government at your rights. Now, anytime a catastrophe goes down, right? That's when they take your rights the most. They use a crisis to justify the growth of government. And they'll keep growing and growing and growing, right? And all of this crazy legislation will be thrown up there. We're going to do this. We're going to restrict that. We're going to take this. We're going to limit that. We're going to license this. We're going to fee that. And you're just sitting back there, the working guy, going, man, this sucks. And they keep stacking on a little more, right? And you start getting agitated, you and your buddies at work. You're hanging around the water cooler after a fucking break. You've been out there in the hot Texas sun, going at it on that damn oil rig, on that platform out there. And you start talking about how much money they're taking from you, the working man. You fellas start sitting down around at lunchtime and comparing and discussing amongst one another. What is that money going to? What's it really getting you in the end? I want you to think about it. What's it really getting you? It's getting you a bunch of bullshit. That's what it's getting you. Because the people that they come after, the state comes after, right? They take our kind from our communities. They recruit. I was a Navy recruiter. I know how this shit works. They recruit men and women to go and be police officers. No differently than military is having had a parent that served, because we will often follow suit in one of our relatives' footsteps in such a manner, right? And so they'll get these men and women in from our communities. Some of them got some shady past if they admitted it in high school or maybe even in college, they were in all kinds of debauchery. You mark my fucking words, they were. They were into all kinds of debauchery. And it's one reason for the way that policing works in this country, that it's a smart recruiting tool, because they go and get men and women from our communities that do have a little bit of a sordid past. They like those. They don't want no straight-laced motherfucker up in there. Are you kidding me? They got a curtain. They got a curtain up there that, no, they don't want no straight-laced guy in there. They want somebody who's got, a little bit of baggage with them. Right? Kind of makes you feel like, all right, I fucked up. You fucked up. Right? We can acknowledge we're not perfect people. But they take our kind and then they create policy to pit working men and women from our communities against us. And they use fear to manipulate the police officer into enforcing oftentimes what's unconstitutional policy. Now, our police are trained far more so on the Constitution than what our service members are. Both of them swear an oath to defend the Constitution. But you know as well as I do, number one, well, okay, let me correct some misconceptions out there. Number one, the military is not there to protect the American people. Y'all understand that? They're there to support and defend the Constitution. That's their fucking oath. The oath is, I will support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That's the oath. So if we're going to be invaded, yeah, we need them. Right? Somebody's going to bomb us, blow us up or something? Yep. Military needs to be involved. We got some dictator in Syria being a douchebag? That ain't our place, man. And it doesn't make me an isolationist to say that. It makes me a person capable of prioritizing our country and her needs. And the fact that we've got all of the issues in this country that we do tells me that I'm correct and you're wrong. We have no business being anywhere else dumping billions in foreign aid all across the fucking globe on the American taxpayer. While we are made to be the chattel, the slavery class, the indentured servants for these legislators. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. If you don't pay your taxes, taxation, it's not theft, right? It is government ordered slavery. Right? It means it's not theft because they don't just take it. Okay? Theft is like if you get robbed 1 million times, okay? If you're robbed every day of your fucking working life, you're not being robbed, bro. You're a slave. The only tax that could potentially have a shred of morality to it is one that's consensual to the degree that if I want that item, right, and I buy it, well, number one, once I purchase it, it's mine indefinitely. Ownership, property ownership. We were founded on this idea of property, right, and that it belongs to you. Now, this is something was counterintuitive for Native Americans, which is what made a lot of issues between Europeans and natives the way that they were, right? Natives didn't believe that you could, at least many didn't believe that you could own the land. One does not simply own the land. I believe that was a poem written by, oh my God, I'll think of him here in a minute. Anyways, but if you have to pay government for your property, whether that's your vehicle, right, your boat, your camper, your tractor, of course your vehicle, your business, and you have to license all of this shit, you don't own it. You don't own it. Government owns it, and they took from you, and now they're leasing it back to you. And if you don't pay what they say that you got to pay, this is the mob telling you, we'll take your shit anyway by force, motherfucker. That's what government says. That's the hard, rotten truth that people don't want to say. It's not as clean and clear cut as we want to make it. I don't give a shit how many ribbons of red, white, and blue you slap on that motherfucker. Okay. If you put a red, white, and blue ribbon around the barrel of a gun and point it at my face, bitch, I don't like it. And that's what they're doing. because they're telling you, you don't pay what we tell you you got to pay, we're going to come take it, right? And the threats will escalate. The penalties will escalate, and it'll continue. And then the city will mount a defense on your public dime, paying their fucking dirtbag public defender or, prosecutors, state's attorneys. They want to come in and seize your fucking property. Want to lock up your property in probate court so that it can all get dissipated. All of your family assets, your business, and everything can get dissipated into the hands of attorneys. It's a rigged system, folks. The whole thing's rigged against you. Look, working men and women. Okay, we got to start getting to the fact that we don't have to have taxes. Okay, I know you think that we do, right? You're going my roads or whatever public service. Who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? You start freaking out like a fucking chicken, man. Okay, put the fucking meth pipe down for a second and listen. There is more than one way to skin a cat. Okay, there is more than one way to pay for things. There is more than one way to do business in this country. It doesn't have to be blue or red. It doesn't have to be a D or an R. We can do things different ways if we're creative about it. We're working men and women, man. We build the goddamn countries. We build the highways. We build the interstates. We build the infrastructure, right? We get the oil out of the fucking ground. It might have been a scientist who figured out how to get that shit out, okay? But it's a working man who gets it done, right? It's the working man who goes down there and bloodies his knuckles building this country. And it's those bloodied knuckled men that need to come out of the garages. They need to come down off of the roofs. They need to come out of the oil fields. They need to bring their asses out here and get into the political realm and get involved and begin having these discussions, opening up your mind to different viewpoints. I'm not telling you to. People say, well, they immediately shut down if you say to them, look, dude, you need to be more open-minded, okay? They automatically think it's a connotation of you're saying that they're bigots of some kind. And we're not. Many times what I'm saying to you is if I tell you you need to be a little bit more open-minded about some things, you rush to judgment. You're already formulating your debate, your rebuttal before I'm even done talking. A lot of you do it. The words aren't even out of my mouth yet. And it's a fucking pet peeve of mine. And if I'm having a serious discussion, okay, I don't give a shit if we're just, screwing off and chewing the fat, but if it's a serious discussion, I want to be able to get my point completely out. And I know I'm long-winded, so just bear with me. Oh. Did I fight for a united country? That's a good question, I guess. Well, I guess I fought for the opportunity for the country to be united. I think that's the best way that I could put it. But good question. But then, it's ultimately these conversations that we're going to have on a Monday night like this at 9 p.m. when the kids are in bed and we get to choose, do I spend my money and time watching some bullshit on Netflix? Do I spend my money and time watching some bullshit on Amazon Prime? Or do I spend a few dollars and spend some time with Cash Jackson 5 days out of the fucking week and talk about working men and women issues? I think that what I'm going to provide here is an important service that is long overdue, and we're missing. There's not many of us on this level, that come from where we come from, that wants to have these conversations because we shy away from it oftentimes. We often feel inadequate in that we might not have completed high school. We got GEDs. We never went to fucking college. Our mom and dad have been in and out of prison. We might have been wrapped up in something ourselves, a time or two. And we feel like, you know what, we steer away from politics and religion and things of that nature because it actually requires us to have some temperance. A lot of us come from really bad backgrounds where temperance wasn't taught, right? It was, it was submission was taught. And you know what I'm talking about. And we have to break out of these shells and learn how to have just really civil dialogue and using, a set of language that, like, I don't care if you curse. I don't really give a damn what you say. It's very hard to offend me, honestly. But we've got to talk about other things outside of hunting and fishing. And I love that stuff, man. I love it. I love to hunt. I love to fish. I love to be off in the mountains, right? That's where I would rather be, is just off in nature. But that's not where the war for our country is. The war for our nation is here, and it's now, and it's in front of you, and you're missing it. And we need you. Your kids need you to be a part of this. They need you to be a part of really getting involved in understanding, taking a legitimate interest in the direction of your country and saying, you know what? This bullshit excuse of, well, I'm just one person, there's nothing I can do, and it's all rigged. Cry me a fucking river, man. Honestly. Cry me a fucking river. Okay? I haven't seen my kids in over 2 years. I've got as much reason to lay down and die as any man ever should. CJ hasn't seen his daughter in, I think, over 5 years, 6 years now. All of us that have lived this and are living this, we're still standing here and we're still fighting, right? We ain't went down. We've been knocked down a bunch, but we're still standing here and we're fighting back. And we're growing platforms like this. We're building networks. We are so tremendously capable of changing this country for the better. When we get outside of the chambers of the rhetoric and the hyper-partisanship that's blasted down through the airwaves of the Republican and Democratic parties. It's lunacy, some of the bullshit that comes out of these people's mouths. I've got an autographed Donald Trump sign back there, right, sitting back there behind me. A lot of people think that I'm just this massive Trump supporter just because it's sitting in my background and they see it sometimes. And I get called Trumpster and all kind of. I'm going to support my commander-in-chief, whomever the fuck that is. And where he makes stupid decisions and says things stupid, I'm going to say that was stupid, sir. Respectfully, that was stupid. And I don't agree with that. And then when he does something really good, I'm going to go, that's a really good thing you did there, sir. I'm proud of you. Why do we not have that ability anymore? It just seems like it just can't even exist. You can't just judge a person for, their overall character and who they are and the individual choices and decisions that they're making. We can't do that. And we have to get past that. The working men and women, I'm telling you right now, that a poor white Southerner down here in Arkansas has got as much in common with a poor black man up in the south side of Chicago than they do. They have far more in common with one another than what they do with their elected representatives. Both of them. Because many of our elected representatives, they don't come from the working class, man. Some of these people have grown up leading much different and extraordinary lifestyles in comparison to our own. And even down here, man, there's plenty of these legislators that come from extremely wealthy families. And I'm not trying to drive classism here. I don't want you to think illy of somebody who was born into a life that was better than your own, economically speaking. I don't want you to have any disdain for them because of where they come from. They're of no more fault of who they were born to than you are. right? But it's what we do with that. It's what we do with that information and that knowledge, those blessings that are bestowed upon us. It's what we do with that, I believe, that ultimately defines who we are as men and women in this country, where we come from, right? And to come from where I come from, many people walk with their heads, unfortunately, hanging low because life has been so incredibly difficult for them. It's been so damn hard, man. I've seen, man, I'm telling you, there is a difference. There is a large difference in the quality of life, in how you learn from childhood on. But when you come from extremely difficult financial beginnings, where you lived in poverty, or your family lived in poverty, your grandparents lived in poverty, all of your community was impoverished, I'm afraid. And so we have to learn, those of us, I broke into at least the upper middle class at one time before I went through family fucking court again, and found myself definitely the victim of government gone wrong. Let me take a break, man. I need some water. I've been going for an hour. Shit, it's already 9 o'clock. Hey, before we take a break, we're going to take a break here in a second. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about this COVID relief package. And I would like for y'all to, if you haven't already, take 5 minutes of your time. Look, 5 minutes of your time, and find something you didn't know about the legislation and share it with us when we come back from the break. Share it with us. Do yourself and others a favor. Find a piece of knowledge, a little nugget of information that's interesting, that helps to further our knowledge about what's going on here. And I'll be up front, here out the gate. I'm not happy about these bills. You shouldn't be either. We got some Nick Sky coming on. I see this guy doing TikToks all the time. If you need help with your sound, your audio stuff, which I always do, Nick Sky is the guy. I see. I'm promoting his TikTok too. You guys go there and follow him. Hey, if you don't follow me yet on TikTok, man, go over there and follow me. I'm doing some different things. I'm trying out some new things. A lot of people don't approve, and I don't care, as usual, which is funny. It really makes them angry that I just legitimately don't give a shit what they think. Let's take 5, man. I'm going to go backstage and do some adult thing with CJ. And so as we get this Patreon thing fired up in town, we're going to be able to do this backstage together. That'll be a good time. Hey, on the break, go grab your debit card and go over and join me on Patreon. I need the support. I do. I'm begging for your money. I'm not begging. I'm working hard for it. I am. Me and CJ both. I got to pay this guy. He helps me out a lot, volunteers a lot of his time, and he's got a little one that he's got to feed. And so VIP patron, $25 a month for a working man and woman. Yep, man, that's a couple 12 packs, dude. I'm not gonna lie to you, that's a big sacrifice, but I think that what we're gonna build here is gonna pay dividends to our community, individually and collectively. We're gonna build something huge here. I feel it in my bones. It's coming. We got a big thing growing here, man. You guys enjoy some Nick Sky. Me and CJ are going to go backstage, and we'll catch you in 5 or 10, man. Whatever. Get some coffee. We got another hour. I don't think I'll fall asleep till I roll over. Can we just start over again? And I could tell you all about her. I don't think I'll fall asleep till then. And now I get left alone while you're lost in outer space, spreading love another way, and we'll meet again someday.
I've taken all I can, but I keep thinking just the same. Guess I'll die another day, but I'm sure I'll be on my way. Maybe I'll collapse and float away. Please go. My hero, she's the last real dreamer I know, and I could tell you all about her. I don't think I'll fall asleep till I roll over. Can we just start over again? And I could tell you all about her. I don't think I'll fall asleep till then. Remember the times when everything seemed so easy, how we didn't know how close we were to losing it all. And we were content with what we had, even though these memories would be quick to fall. Before we were supposed to keep us sane, but suffocated slowly once we were happy. We were happy before we grew. We were happy with nothing in our hands. So it was simple, there was nothing we could understand. A sense lost time like falling grains of sand, leaving us to wonder, where did it all come wrong? Have done better? Is that something that we did wrong? For us to feel left to raise ourselves without someone to lean on. Think about the generations present or past. Was there any peace, and if there was, could it last? Before we were supposed to keep us sane, but suffocated slowly once we were happy. We were happy before we grew. We were happy with nothing in our hands. So it was simple, there was nothing we could understand. A sense lost in time like falling grains of sand, leaving us to wonder, where did it all go wrong? Life was simple now before the monsters changed the chaos recipe. For the God inside our heads and changed our chemistry. Before we knew about the danger lurking beneath the surface. Before we learned our lives and purpose. Before we had to accept this was all going to be worth this.
Now watch this drive.
We were happy before we grew. We were happy with nothing in our hands. So it was simple, there was nothing we could understand. A sense lost in time like falling grains of sand, leaving us to wonder, where did it all go wrong?
Nice, man. That's a catchy little tune there. Thanks for sticking around. Looks like we lost maybe about half our viewership. Maybe some will dwindle back in here in a minute. They're probably doing like I was. Actually, I was out on my roof, and I go out on my roof a lot. As a kid, it was, the roof was always off limits. You can't. You remember that? Don't get on the roof. I don't know about you, but I was raised by my grandparents, and Daniel King, man, what's up, my brother? Is this Daniel King from Northern Arkansas? That's some funny stories, if it is. I bet it is. Looking at that profile pic, I think that's him. I actually kind of dated his sister for just a short time, not very long. And put him in the Navy subsequently. Oh, man. Fun people, though. I loved them both. Yeah, CJ's backstage, like shaking his head. I'm like, yeah, yeah, that happened. I'll leave it at that, though. I won't go into any more detail. They're still friends of mine, so it's all good. It's cool to yeah, we did, man. We had some wild ones. This guy Daniel, he's one of the young guys I put in the Navy, and I was only a few years older than him too. Here in Arkansas, and I was a bit of a hell raiser. I'm not gonna lie to you, I was, and it was my family. That's how we were raised. I mean, and look, let's be honest. The middle class and upper middle class kids are probably even worse. You know why? Because they got access to get into all kinds of shit that poor kids don't, right? We get into stuff like jumping off bridges or stealing road signs, or, we still roll people's houses out in the country. You know what I mean? Like, kids still do that shit. Yeah. Oh, man. I don't think so, man. I don't think so. These guys love me. I was honest with them. I told them all the freaking ups, downs. I didn't bullshit them. I'm still friends with a bunch of them today, Daniel being one of them. I didn't lead them astray. I was like, hey, this is how this shit is. I just gave it to them like it was, Recruiters make it unnecessarily hard on themselves. Military, because of their upper chain of command, right? The upper chain of command sets some quotas for them and says you will perform. Again, the way government works best, it's not under incentives, it's under fear. If you perform well, this is what could happen for you. Now, they do give out lots of awards. I'll give them that. There is that kind of incentive, but still, fear is the overlying or the overriding. Because they will ride your ass as a recruiter about putting people in the military. And recruiters fuck up because they fall prey. They fall prey to that pressure. And for me, it was just, I was still a young guy. I was only like 22, 23 years old. And I just wanted to give back. I wanted for young men and women that were coming from the same background that I'd came from 5 years before. And I knew what the Navy was doing for me. So of course I made a great fit to be a recruiter. See, that's somebody from, Jesus, what, 2002? Golly, to the Navy. And I didn't say no bullshit. I just told him how it was. And I've always appreciated people being straight up with me. And I just let them know, hey, man, if you don't want to fucking ship, you don't have to. And plenty of recruiters, and the common theme is they would convince them that they had to ship. And I couldn't do that. I'm like, I'm not going to tell them that shit. It's fucking not true. I'm not going to lie to their damn face, because as soon as I lie to one of these guys, we're in a small community. Number one, doesn't make sense. So if you lie to them, just give it to them like it was, shoot them straight and let them make the decision. Fuck, dude. It's going to be for some. It's not going to be for some others. And you know, I always had a real good group of young men and women that were loyal. They were just, you know, good kids, man. And now they're all grown up like me. You know, not like I'm that much older, 5-6 years, whatever it is. Jay Brian, there's some common shit right here with recruiters. My recruiter said, "You'll see the world." we should joke more about this kind of shit. Saw Camp Pendleton. Oh man, that's some recruiter shit too.
What's up, Cash? I'm gonna be caller number one this week.
Go ahead.
I figured I might as well say hello to the audience.
Let's go with it.
Being behind the scenes at the moment, but hello, audience.
Well, it's Monday, isn't it?
I love watching your collective brain thoughts all from behind the scenes because you really get to see the smarter amongst your audience and as well as the not so smart. So it's just kind of like beautiful how you find yourself dancing amongst
CJ, you can't insult any of these people.
No. I'm insulting a very small minority of your audience that has not come to realize yet what you're trying to accomplish here and haven't given you an opportunity to develop your ideas.
Not my audience.
Well, I mean, it's your show. You're the host. I want to
reiterate that this is our. It is my show, yes, but it's yeah.
Also, while we need your help at Patreon, is for this reason right here. So Cash and I don't have to talk with an echo. It would be so great if we could just get just a little patron support. Listen. I am working on an outro for the show that will take everybody that donates to our Patreon and will make sure that at the end of every podcast, you have a thank you message for being a Patreon for this show because it's where you're going to truly develop the broadcast. Hello, Tammy. How are you this evening?
Here's what I see. You know what I see, CJ? Look. CJ, here's what I see. I envision that what we're going to grow here. Okay. So for some of these people, it's going to be, you know, like I'm going to know these people probably like Tammy Duncan or, you know, Daniel King. I've already known for 17 years or so.
I bet you
18 years.
Jamal, right? We're going to meet you at some point. You're going to come down to Arkansas.
I bet we meet a lot of these people and look, and you're going to be welcome, right? Those, my Patreon supporters. If you pass through Arkansas, right, once we get this place up and running, it's going to be so much bigger than just a studio.
Hang on. Right? If you're donating,
you're going to have like a bed and breakfast, right?
Hold up. Wait. If you think
like a bed and breakfast, no shit. Like you pass through Arkansas, you're going to have like a B&B here.
Cash, you're sitting here like you're telling the people, like, listen, if you pay me money, like, listen, you can come in the front door of the building and say hello, and it's just as much your yours is his. I mean, Cash, you've showed me what your idea is. I've walked on board with you to, you know, help you accomplish this. Your britches. And listen, the pictures I'm sure don't do it justice from what it sounds like, what it looks like. I mean, what your idea actually is. I mean, really, the public doesn't really know exactly what you're putting forward because the audience is at its infancy right now, but this is the developing factor of any show. So that's why, again, it's important, like things like Patreon. And we'll clean this up for the patrons who have asked for that to get our patron rewards, I guess, essentially is what the patrons call them, on point. And so Cash and I are going to work on cleaning this stuff up. But another thing,
it's a good.
I got two more producer points I'd like to make, Cash. So another thing is, like, when we take a little break, like when Cash is like, hey, I've been talking for an hour and let's hear some good music like we have with Nick Sky. We would like to have your music as well. So if you're an artist, please reach out to us and we'd like to, you know, feature your music on the show. And therefore we can even,
please.
And again, go right to me as you saw with Nick. We'll use my Spotify account. If you're a Spotify user, you know, we'd like to create a playlist just for this show, and so that way, you know, we can promote our artists on the screen on your Spotify, and hopefully start seeing some tractions there too,
Right.
in promoting your music. So that's the other producer note. The other thing I've heard from a few of you is you'd like to get a Cash Jackson t-shirt or a coffee mug. And I've been able to talk to Cash, and we'll work on something like that as well. And listen, no t-shirt or buying of a coffee mug is going to solve the problem. But everybody likes a little bit of a token of or a piece of the show. Like, for example, I produce Adam versus the Man. Sorry, Adam, if you see this. I produce Adam versus the Man, and you know, we have merch for that as well. And so like I understand that. So I too would like to have a Cash Jackson t-shirt with some Cash Jackson exclusive design merchandise from his brain to your t-shirt. And so we want to work on that too. So there's a lot of things that we know we can do. There's a lot of things Cash is going to have to learn because he's still technically like that old school boomer recruiter vet guy. And he's trying to learn TikTok. So I give him that. Like, I'm like, dude, learn those TikToks because they're fire, man. Like, you're going to change the TikTok game. And other veterans are going to go, well, I mean, honestly, I don't think I can fit into my jacket.
Look,
I'm gonna put a little light up to me here. Hold up. Wait, this is like, wait, I can parody this too. Hold up. Wait, where is it? There's my light switch. Hang on. Here it is. Okay, boom. And I can just be like, from the salty seas, I tell you my opinions. And you can become my patron, and I will do TikToks and talk about all your problems. I mean, it's like, man, I've enjoyed it so much. I love it because when you get your own studio, it's just going to be even more fun and more creative, and more people will get involved, and that's how you birth a beautiful, beautiful show, a beautiful network, and really bring a community of people together. So if you're one of our patrons, I'm going to be coming through in the next week as kind of like a patron airline stewardess, and I'm going to be like, hey, what can we do to help you?
Right.
And I want to make sure that you get into our Telegram chat, because that's what we're trying to get for Cash to watch exclusively during the show. So when you are all like, he is seeing selective comments here, it's like, nah, because we're worried about talking to our patrons, the ones that are actually wanting to hear us speak, paying to hear us speak. And especially this guy right here. Sometimes I'm like hopefully the humble little relief here in the background. But also promotions. Like, if you'd like to be a promoter or have your promotions on this show, reach out to me as well, because everybody needs sponsors. And so this show currently doesn't necessarily have sponsors outside of
all of you do
the Veteran Liberty Network. So if you're an up and coming business, small business, and you think, hey, I like to listen to Cash while he's talking, and you want to have your business or promotion be the one that sponsors the War is Hell podcast, reach out to me or Cash, and we can talk business. I mean, that's how podcasting works. I mean, I hate to tell you the truth.
You got
not really, but
right. Well, again, but again, this is how. Look, what CJ and I are doing isn't just promoting our own show, okay, or my show, if CJ wants to say that. We're not just doing that.
Network,
we're trying to build a network. Right. So this is me. Okay. That over there is going to be the entire network. Right. So think of a lot more of these, but from different people, different styles, different shows. We're going to incorporate a lot. What we're doing is we're beginning to implement free markets fixes, right, to get around working with government and saying, hey, how can we help one another? You've got a family member that owns a business, right, that they want to get their business out there. right? We've got something that we're building here that we want to get out there, right? And we work together and we help one another, right? So for instance, musicians, right? Nick Sky, I submitted I put up a job application thing, and on Facebook, and I put it over in Nashville, and I got feedback from 8 or 10 people, and Nick Sky was one of those. And so I said, hey, look, all we want to do is just play your music on the show. And he's like, okay. I said, we're not going to be, there's going to be no like money changing hands, no nothing. You're going to get free advertisement for who you are as an artist, right? Because I listened to a few of his songs and I liked it. I'm like, yeah, I'd play this on my show. And so I don't know how many episodes now we've been talking about Nick Sky. And as other artists come into this, we'll incorporate their music into the show. So you've probably got musician friends out there. You got local bands. Let's build one another, man. Why do we got to wait for American Idol and Hollywood and all of them to do this shit for us? Let's do it ourselves. We've got great, talented people. Yeah, I guess we can do this. Memes with your website on it.
Yes, we can have all the we can have all the best memes. Yes, all the best memes. But again, I agree with everything you're saying, Cash. I agree with everything you're saying. I just say again, if you'd like to call into the show, the link is in the description in T-minus 5 seconds.
Don't be intimidated.
And come on and join the show.
Some people are intimidated. They don't want to get their face out there. Look, get out of your comfort zone. Meet somebody new. If we haven't spoken or anything, call into the show. We'll have a discussion about whatever you want to talk about. Or I'll drive the conversation, right? I can be bossy. I don't have a problem with that. If you want me to steer, just say you steer. And I'll drive the conversation. I don't have a problem with it. I'm kind of a born talker, and this is how I'm making my living. And I can do that since I'm retired from the military. That's one of the benefits of having went in at 17 years old and retiring at 37. But what you don't see is all the damage that it did. So, there's a trade-off. Well, let's but before we get a caller, I guess let's get into that. Let's get into that topic. Oh my Lord, this is going to piss me off. I know it is. I'd already looked at it a little bit earlier today, and it's fun to kind of get into the news with some of you if you haven't done it earlier in the day. And House approves. So it's made it through the House. House approves this stimulus bill, equating to $2,000 per individual, or what is it, like $5,000 for a household or something. $2,000 for Americans. Sends bill to the Senate. Look, man, I don't even have to look at the piece of shit to know that all of that pork barrel spending is still in there. I don't need to look at it. Right? Because that's just what we do. That's our policy and our practice. It's to stuff a bunch of useless shit into every piece of legislation that we can and siphon as much money as humanly possible from out of the American people. Folks, this should piss you off far more than what it's doing. Okay. I'm being very measured right here. Just so I can have a civil conversation about this. The measly, it's only a measly $1,400. Look, $1,400. Come the fuck on. Do we even hear ourselves? Oh yeah, $2,000. How much are you worth? What are your principles worth? What are your children's souls worth? Because that's what we're talking about here. We're not talking about an additional $1,400 for you and your, in your habits, right? We're not talking about that. There is more to the piece of legislation than what we're talking about. This is developing a large-scale, nationwide, systemic dependency on government. And I already know some dickbag in the background is going, but you're dependent on the government. You get VA disability and you get a pension. You're right. I do, douchebag. And you know what I did? Oh, that's right. I was in the military for 20 years and I earned it. It's not being given to me. I had to earn it. Earn it, Ernest. You understand what I'm saying? That's the fucking difference. And it amazes me how many people are so monumentally dense that they cannot figure this out, that there is a difference in working for something and being paid what you're owed for the work that you did. I will not apologize one iota for the compensation that I get for the degradation of mind and body in the course of military service. I will not apologize one fucking bit, because I went there with the most altruistic of motives, despite how government uses us. All right. Anyways, $1,400 difference, $2,000. What the shit is that? It's a clip's gonna play. Play that again.
It's definitely not gonna play. What that was a button. That was just a button, Cash. Yeah.
Oh, that would have been nice.
Yeah.
There it goes.
But the thing
Yeah,
isn't
we
working.
need to throw those little zingers in there. Get them. Give me some zingers. I need a zinger sound. Like when I get when I get a good one, when you're like, oh, there was one. You know, I need like a little firework display or something.
That's literally all we can play for copyright and fair use purposes.
Son of a. We'll probably get kicked off just for that. They shit can a lot of my episodes, my earlier ones. We lost a lot of material. Well, we didn't necessarily lose it.
We passed the censors. We're still on all platforms.
Yeah, for right now. Yeah, but anyways, look. You can't get around this. You cannot get around how much money is being sent to other governments across the world. Where's the money coming from? They're not just printing this shit off the press down there at the feds or at the Treasury Department. It ain't just getting printed up and escorted by the Secret Service over to fucking, you know, to Pakistan or Somalia or wherever else we're sending it to. I don't give a shit if it's going to Denmark, Sweden, Europe. I don't give a fuck. It ain't theirs. It's the American people's. The American people need the money. They need it. Give it back to them. You took it from them under threat of force, you assholes. So give it back to them. All of it. Just give it all back. How long has the nation been shut down now? What are we at? 9, 10 months now into this? What was it going to be? A little 2-week stint? Oh, yeah. Yeah. 10 million in Pakistan for gender identity research. Here comes the money. Wonder whose little pet project that is. Here comes the money. Somebody's little Biden baby's getting paid, right? Yep. Clinton love child getting paid hush money. There's no telling. Jesus. 10 million to Pakistan for gender identity research. Oh yeah, this is another great point. Are you shitting me? $1 billion to the fucking Smithsonian? $1 billion to a museum? Are you kidding me? I don't even know what that was. I didn't even hear it. You're laughing, and I can't laugh because I didn't hear it.
Bitch.
What the hell was that? Oh man. Play it again, man. Play it again.
My money, bitch.
Oh man. Politics has got to be funny. It's got to be entertaining because if it's not, you don't want to participate in it. We don't want to listen to the dried up fucking grandpas. We don't want to listen to the Bill O'Reillys. We don't want to listen to the Rush Limbaugh. We don't want to listen to those people. Some of you do. I don't.
We've got
Some of them are a little too out there for me anyway. You gotta have money to play with the big boys. Yeah. Makes no sense, does it? It makes no sense, which is why we're doing what we're doing. This is why we're kind of building the network and the platform that we are, because it doesn't make any sense. And so we're charging into 2021. He's found a new toy, apparently. He's just running amok with this thing. This could happen for another 25 minutes, folks. We can't shy away from it, though. Look, that's the thing. We can't shy away from the conversations. And I appreciate people coming on, hanging out with us. We're doing this Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 Central Standard Time. After you've pretty much got the kids to bed, right? This is a pretty fair, I think, reasonable hour for people that, look, if you want to, if you had a choice, okay, honestly, if you had a choice, Netflix or me and CJ, and guests, right? Other people that, well, you're in the chat group with, you're, hanging out with. These are people that you guys are all hanging out together, right? Dave, Robert, Newton, Tammy, Holly, Wes. Many of you should get to know one another, right? Hey, how'd you get on the Gash? Hey, what do you do? Hey, where are you from? And we build an entire network of us where we know one another, right? We develop a rapport and a relationship, okay? And we network ourselves to death, right? Hey, what do you do? What's your family do? Right? What do your friends do? Do you have anybody that does this? CJ, you better screen these calls. Don't you send me no crazy again.
Wow, isn't very nice.
Yeah. Oh man. But you're investing in us and we're investing in you, right? Again, we're not all about us, right? What we're trying to be is about all of us. And to bring something new to our communities that we don't really have. And that's, well, one, it's a platform such as this for us to communicate in a network, and discuss real world issues and how they're impacting us down here on the, on kind of the lower economic rung. And yeah, man, hold on a second. Let me grab Carrie Bentley over here. We got somebody hanging out waiting to join us. CJ, you want to bring Carrie in? Yeah, bring her on in. Miss Bentley, how are you?
Hello, I can't see you. Let me see. Oh, there you are.
There. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm
You got a
here
great
in Washington
smile.
State. Thank you. I haven't smiled a lot. You guys are cute enough to smile at, though.
Oh,
I'm a naughty older woman,
yeah,
too.
well, I'll take that. I'll take that.
With a lot
Yeah,
of
well,
attitude.
as long as we keep it kind of like. Well, what's up? What do you got going? You got any thoughts on the
I don't
topic from
know.
earlier?
I was just watching some of what you were showing, and I watch Jamie Chapman in the mornings, and he has a lot of different kind of people call in
Okay,
and
I'm
everything.
not familiar.
He does the gaming in the afternoon. Yeah. Gosh, I want to like go put on a bunch of
What
makeup.
have you
and
been
put
doing this
makeup.
evening?
I always look nice and shit. Now here I am on a
You should.
broadcast. That's wow.
Well,
I
no,
don't know, I'm
we
just-
appreciate you
I-
coming in. Look, I appreciate people. Like, you don't have to get all dolled up for me, right? I know beautiful when I see it, and
Oh, when you
we're
said I
we're
could do
all
everything I
aging. We're
wanted, I had
into
a
age
second
with.
thought. Like, oh,
Oh yeah, yeah. You
Everything
got
I
to fight
wanted?
somebody for that.
that won't be
Yeah. That's
nothing
a sponsor edition.
new.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was gonna blush tonight, CJ.
I know I'm blushing
So where
too.
are you at? Where are you at, Carrie?
I'm in Ellensburg, Washington.
Where do you call home?
Ellensburg, Washington.
Oh, okay. It's pretty up there. I kind of hunt. Yeah, there's good elk hunting out that way. Ellensburg. It's real
Yeah.
pretty up there.
Oh yeah, it's peaceful. It's peaceful, but unless you want to go downtown and be Democrat. Democrat stupid.
Well, I don't want to be either, right? I mean, I don't really, I never considered as much about dichotomies and false dichotomies before until I started having some more serious discussions, going through some therapy, and with a friend of mine, as it were, that has a couple degrees in psychology and does a magnificent job of that. But we align ourselves to these labels that, well, if we're really real about it and we go down and we just hang out and talk to one another, and if I don't know somebody's a Democrat and they don't know I'm a libertarian, and we sit down and have a conversation about our kids and our work and what ails us and what's difficult for us, we share the same problems and issues. We're just we viscerally disagree through the hyper partisanship, and so I hang out with plenty of Democrats, and they know I'm hard on them. I'm hard on their party, and I challenge their ideas, and but we can still be friends at the end of the day, and just disapprove with one another's politics.
Yeah.
Night, Daniel.
I'll
talk to you soon, brother.
Hi, CJ, wherever you are. I thought you'd be on too, but that's cool too. But there you are. Okay, that must be fun. I used to set up stages all around Washington, and it was really fun setting up sound and cameras and lights and everything. That was one of my favorite shows.
Oh, nice
jobs. Yeah. So
now, did you do that for any big bands or just local bands or?
For the Yakima State Fair, Ellensburg. Here in Ellensburg, we'd go south past Yakima, Tri-Cities, things like that. Set up shows. Here in the Northwest, we got a lot of little different, cultural things, different cultures, and they go on and on.
My brother and sister actually live in Washington. My uncle, my cousins, I got family in Washington. I lived in Washington. I actually joined the Marine Corps out of Linwood, Washington.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So
my son's in Elma.
I've drove that 5 freeway plenty of days, put it to you that way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You see, I mean, look at that. I mean, and so I want people to consider that for a moment. And look, it's not just like a Joe, like Joe Rogan's got an amazing podcast, and man, that guy just networks.
Rogan does not do this. He doesn't do it like this.
Right. Right. Correct. And but I think the important piece is that all three of us here have all lived in Washington, and I used to live over in the Bremerton, Silverdale region whenever I was stationed up there on, with 2 different tours. So, I used to hunt all over the state and loved it up there. It's a beautiful state. I mean, I've got a ton of friends up there that they're always wanting me to come back up. So,
You
Yeah,
belong
I need to
here.
get up that direction and see some folks.
I'm actually planning on moving back to
Yeah, I
Washington.
love it up there.
I don't move to Arkansas or Arizona, but Washington
have-
is the place I'm going to call home here soon enough if I have a choice, I guess.
I have cousins in Arkansas. My brother knows where. I don't.
Well, you should find out. You should find out.
I haven't
Yeah,
talked to
Arkansas
them
is a
cousins
beautiful
since
state.
I was
You know,
a
it's
little girl.
well, you should look
Is
them up. Family's
Is there
important.
delay?
Family
Is there
is
delay on these?
family's important.
I think that your delay is kind of screwing up everybody's audio, Cash. But
Yes.
it's kind of funny. Yep.
Right.
Well,
I had a whole bunch to talk about, but I'm just like so in shock. Can you like maybe bring up a topic or something? I know about the kid thing, but I'd rather talk to you
Yeah.
private on
Like,
that.
can you just run the freaking show, CJ?
I mean,
Produce,
I
damn it, produce.
I guess I could produce. We do have 2 new people backstage, but again, I mean,
you
Bring 'em on.
I'm still kind of like traumatized from the other night where the authentication was off, and yeah, that was like, well, you know, again, so David and Nick, I see you're backstage. If you want to join, just flip your cameras on or use the chat. Let me know if you want to join. The same way that Carrie did here, and Cash.
I just kind of pushed
Yep,
a few
yep.
buttons,
Yeah, you
and
put them on,
I know how to set it up, so I kind of got right through. I was gonna tell you, Facebook.
Hey, if
they've
we
been-
can
they've
figure
been
this shit
warning
out,
me
anybody
3
can
days,
figure it out.
7 days, 10 days, and now I'm on 30-day suspension because I called somebody a commie fag junkie because they were being one.
All right,
You
well,
know,
I don't know
and
that I
got
would
told
use
once
the
I
F,
shouldn't say that,
the F
but
one.
it's like, what is it? To me,
Yeah,
it's just like a
You probably
stupid ass.
shouldn't.
I
It's
mean,
just stupid ass.
I'm not gonna stop you from how you want to articulate yourself.
Well, it was one comment on like a hour and a half show. One comment, and my comment after all the other naughty comments and rude and disrespectful, and I say that to somebody personally. I went on their personal thing and said it, right? They're like, it wasn't about the show anyway. So
Well,
why did I get
At least
suspended
you
for
went
it?
right to him and said it.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna. That's what I'm about.
Well, yeah. I mean, you kind of overstepped the bounds there a little bit, Carrie.
How's that?
And I
How's
mean,
that?
look, I'm not sensitive, and I hear and get called all kinds of shit, you know.
Mhm.
But I mean,
Mhm.
we definitely have to consider it, right? I mean, as human beings that are trying to progress in society and become more civil between working men and women, a lot of that has to do with how we treat one another and the remarks we make. And I'm guilty to the extent
Well,
that, you know, I'll call somebody a liberal puke or a fascist fuck or whatever. But, you know,
Yeah.
I steer clear of anything that's going to be, say, attack a more intimate characteristic of them.
Well, you know,
Well, you know, they were picking on a lot of people and they were saying a lot of rude shit, you know? And I'm like, now this has got to stop. And so I'll go ahead and do this myself, you know, because all the other comments weren't hitting that sucker, you know? So what is a person to do?
Well, yeah,
You're going to try to get them off of there.
I guess that one hit them. Well, you know, I mean, you know, again, it's not speech I would choose to use, but you know, each his own, I guess. Well,
Hey,
Carrie,
I
you know, because of our lag, I'm going to
Yes.
go ahead and bring on one of these other guys.
Okay.
I'm gonna bring on another one of the guests here. I appreciate
Do.
you joining us, and I hope you stay
You
well
want me
out
to
there in
stay?
Washington. Stay warm out there.
Want me to stay or say goodbye?
Well, no, because the lag. With the lag. Yeah, see, we're still
I
stepping on one another.
I'm walking
The more
around my
people we're
house.
bringing to the broadcast, the worse this gets.
I was just walking around my house trying to find a different pair of glasses.
Hey,
So I could see you. Now I can see you.
she's still a little bitter at me, but that's all I'm gonna say. She's still a little bitter at me. Not you, not you, Carrie. I'm sorry.
It's a little better.
Still a little bitter at me.
Yeah, no, yes.
Yeah.
We love you, and thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Carrie, again, thank you for joining us. Look forward to having you on again. Be good. Be good.
Oh, yeah. Yep. All right. Yeah. No, the echo.
Thanks for joining us.
It starts. And now, how delayed are you?
Is it still as bad?
Here we go. Ready? We're gonna test it.
Yeah, probably pretty delayed.
Yeah. You're delayed. We do a clap test for delay.
Yeah.
Lovely. So I'm
You
talking.
can't look. You can't come over here and not have thick skin, right? And we're not going to freak out and emotionally react to shit. At least I'm not.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, a reminder to everybody though that's how quickly you can go from being in the comments to being on this show itself. So when there's trolls in the comment section, I guess that's this way, in the comment section, it's so easy to disseminate between somebody who genuinely cares versus somebody who doesn't. And so, that's just the beauty of what StreamYard provides. So yeah, for somebody like Carrie to come on and unexpectedly go from the comments to the show itself, we're grateful that she would step up. And yeah, that's the Arkansas delay for
Absolutely.
sure. So, but hey, Cash.
Well, we kind of caught her too.
Yeah,
I don't think she thought. I don't think she thought she was going to get on, or she was going to come into
a lot of people don't.
The platform.
And with the other show, Adam versus the Man, like people said the same thing. Like I went from being in the comments to now I'm on the show, and it's a completely different, change for how broadcasting is done. So, but yeah. Anyways, excuse me. And by the way, everybody disconnected, so we don't have a callers. But I do want to bring this up, Cash, and that's kind of like a follow-up on your earlier story about the stimulus there. And again, and get your thoughts on House Republicans join with Democrats. Go ahead.
Yep, House Republicans join with Democrats to override Trump's veto of defense bill. I like how they spell defense. This has got to be a British, The Guardian. It is, isn't it? Isn't that a UK publication? I keep trying to scroll up on it as though I've got any control over your screen. If, as expected, the Senate follows suit later this week, it will be Congress's first such rebuke of his presidency. Yeah. Well, oh boy, yeah. Man. Look, I've already said it. We know these bills are just packed full of pork. That's what they are. That pork isn't just a term to mean, it's got meaning to it. It means your dollars taken from you under what? Threat of force. Again, we have to clearly establish this, that taxation and the way that it's conducted is not moral, right? I don't know if there's a really moral way to do that in what's supposed to be a free market exchange. But I don't believe that what we're experiencing today is anything free market. The amount of money pouring out to these countries, there's business involved there. That money is for business. It's going to pay somebody for something, right? And maybe that something is just a handshake. Maybe that something is just a phone call. Maybe that something's just a connection. But that's our money the money that came out of your children's mouths and they're sending overseas. It's a despicable crime to the American people to continue and portray ourselves and act as though we're doing this out of the humaneness of our heart. Bullshit. Bullshit. We're buying people off, right? We're purchasing services. We're purchasing things that we want to further our interest abroad. And I don't think, frankly speaking, I don't think that the American people are privy to it to the degree that it's actually what's actually happening, right? They're not actually showing it for what it is. Defense spending is a perfect example. If you talk one red cent about the military and reducing money to the military, automatic, you hate the fucking troops and you're a commie. Automatic. Dum, dum, dum. Even as a 20-year, if I say anything as a 20-year Navy veteran, now I'm a traitor. That's how retarded our country's gotten. Honestly. That's what we have reduced ourselves to that level of stupidity. That people would call me a traitor because I go, yeah, I don't think we should pay $3,000 for a toilet. I don't think we should pay $80 for for a fucking $10 hammer you could get at Walmart. You know what I mean? Or Lowe's. It is ridiculous how much money is spent in defense spending. And we have to be able to scrutinize every aspect of our government to include the military. We have to. To scrutinize every level of government is us being prudent watchers of liberty. It doesn't mean that we're anti-old people. US debt clock. Looking at that thing is maddening alone. It's like a economic candy cane that you're certain to choke on during the holiday. Where's my zinger? That was one you laughed. Yeah. Oh man, bunch of bullshit's what that is. That clock running up like that, that's the sweat pouring off yours and your kids' brows. Every time that summit clicks over, you see that? How rapidly that's running? That's the sweat dropping off the brow of the American worker. That's how much sweat equity you're fucking pumping into the U.S. debt. Do it. Do it again.
Where's my money, bitch?
Where's my money, bitch? Yeah, and that's what we ought to be doing down here at our state houses, and over in our capitals and in Congress. Where is our money? What are you doing with it? They're taking it by the dump trucks, by the C-130 loads that they're dropping over the hills of Afghanistan to goat farmers. These dudes are driving fucking platinum level goats down the mountain.
I got money and hoes.
Yeah. Yep. Some Afghani goat farmers got fucking platinum gold grilled teeth in his goats. With some big old like Mr. T bling. I need me a billy goat, right? I'm gonna get a billy goat and put bling on it. I'm getting my own billy goat. That settles it. I'm getting a billy goat and I'm putting some bling on it. I'm gonna get some caps on its teeth with Cash Jackson on it. I'm gonna get KJ. I'm gonna get KJ on its friggin' front teeth right there. That's gonna be badass, man. I'm gonna put him up in the back of my freaking military, like my Bob Deuce and a half truck. It's going to be epic. It's going to be epic. You know what? Hey, I'm going to cut some tattoos. I'm going to cut some, you seem like they do those designers things on the side of a horse, like with their hair or whatever, when they give them a haircut, they'll put like these really cool designs on them. I'm going to do that for my freaking billy goat, man. My billy goat's going to be designed like a Harley Davidson billy goat with bling. It's going to be amazing. We're off topic. Where's the adult in the room, right? And this is partly why you guys look. John Roberts. See, fucking dead. Fuck. They're murdering all of us. Jesus Christ, they're murdering us.
Hold up. I didn't do that right. It's supposed to go like, gosh, I didn't do that right. Hold on. It's supposed to go like this. It's supposed to line up. It's supposed to line up.
I'm trying to time it.
The goat screaming.
Time it and scream.
That's perfect.
I think the delay. Yeah, but I wanted to be the billy goat. I wanted to scream.
I think there's something we can do that post production. We'll work on that post production.
Hey, I wasn't talking about branding the horses. No, they actually do like a haircut. Kind of like when somebody will get like a fade. It's more of like a more urban style. You know what I mean? Like the Jersey Boys and shit. They'll be putting these cool designs in their hair. They'll do that on horses too. And yeah, man, it's badass. I'm gonna get that done with my billy goat. I'm gonna have the most badass, buffest billy goat. I'm gonna feed it steroids too, CJ. I'm gonna have like a monster billy goat, like a jacked up Hulk, like yoke. It's gonna be the yoke goat. We're gonna be fucking just riding a tractor with my billy goat right around the state house. Where's my fucking money, bitch? Give me a tractor and a billy goat, and I'll do it. First person gets me a tractor and a billy goat and a big ass American freaking flag, done. I'll do it. I'll come to your state and do it. Get me a tractor and a billy goat with a freaking speaker on it and some microphones, man, and I will ride around your Capitol building with my billy goat in tow, yelling at them. Hit it, CJ. You missed it. Where's my money? That's the cue. God. No, the other one. Where's my money, bitch? Bro, we are not synced up tonight. We are not synced. And this, see, right? This is part of the reason. Like, you can't bitch about this. If you're not contributing as a Patreon member, you cannot honestly bitch about this. The delay, you can't say anything about it because we're trying to get into a studio and get good internet and get good gear. And we're well on our way, actually. We are well on our way. We're getting ready to sign the lease on a studio, and we're going to be broadcasting live. And that's thanks to the people that have supported up to this juncture. They're going to help us get in there. And guess what? It's brand new. So in all honesty, I haven't even gotten a red cent from any of you yet.
Where's my money?
To be completely honest, but through Patreon, I haven't. People have helped us out prior to us using Patreon.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Money talk. So what if a working man got wealthy? Why do we frown on that? What if I did get wealthy? What if you guys help me get wealthy? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to throw a big ass party for all of us, right? Duh. You know, I'm one of those guys that's like, I want everybody else to enjoy as well, right? I want everybody to have fun. I don't think that I could even be a millionaire because I like buying gifts for people. I like doing nice things for people. I like, treating people well and help out others. And even when I'm not, I'll do whatever I can to help people. And a lot of times I overextend myself because I've got this heart to want to help people, and I'll offer more of me than what I actually have available. And I'm guilty of doing that. I'll spread myself way too thin. No, yeah, he just, Claire, he just signed up. What I'm saying is that I don't think that any of them have been charged yet because we just started it in December. So I think the first actual, whenever I do get money, it would be in January.
Yes, Cash. In fact, we've explained this several times, but
they might have it already. Maybe they have it already, but they haven't distributed it to me.
Right. So here's how Patreon works. Patreon works on your billing cycle, and which you choose how they take your money, basically. And it'll charge you monthly. What it'll do is it'll push notifications for the show. It'll tell you when Cash has posted something for your patron level, to where you get access to it. And like I said, if it will not charge you if he has not fulfilled his obligation to you as a patron member and your levels. So that's why, again, I'll let you guys know. I'm going to make sure that you, in the next week, as I go through Patreon, you'll get a message from me. It'll be addressed as it's coming from me, not Cash, with the link to our Telegram, which is a 24-hour chat that you can have access to Cash directly, because that's the chat that he's in 24 hours a day,
right.
7 days a week link to the show. And he'll obviously tell you when he eats, when he sleeps, and when he poops. But, at the end of the day, it helps to get away from the other social media networks that have been created and have your own tried and true method for communication with those that support you. So again, we're going to try to get everybody up to speed together, because if you learn how to do some of this yourself, you might find it to be an interesting learning experience too. So
yeah.
But yeah, we want to make sure that
come
we
out
take
of the woodwork and go, you know what? Yeah.
2 hours a night is a lot of time to give somebody, but $3 a month definitely is not, especially if you're enjoying their content. If you're somebody that just wants to listen in, if you pay at the $9 level, that's where you actually get to interact with Cash. That's where the $9 early access to the show starts. And if you pay the $25 a month, like I said, Cash will basically come have breakfast with you if he's in the area. So I mean,
yeah, I will.
I mean, he might sleep on your couch if you give him $25 and he ends up in your town. He might just come sleep on your couch. Like, that's how it happens. It's weird.
Well, I got to.
He's like,
I got to proceed that way. I got to get to know
fight.
people first.
He's like, I've got to go fight the government
there's
guys.
Some Ted Bundys out there.
Some tyranny, but I need to borrow your couch because I'm human and I got to sleep too. And if you got a place I can poop, that's awfully nice of you. So, I mean, yeah. So, I mean, really, you can go from being in the comment section to on the show to him sleeping on your couch. And all you have to do is go to patreon.com. Oh, man. I feel like somewhere in there, somebody's going to be like, Cash, you promised to sleep on my couch. Why aren't you in my house right now? Why are you still on my
Somebody's
TV?
going to hold me to that, man. You're going to freaking rope. You're gonna rope up some psycho that's gonna fucking attack me
around a campfire. I'll tell you that much. Like, you want to go out to one of these crazy ass protests and eat breakfast in the morning? That's the guy that'll make you a good campfire breakfast right there for sure. Yeah.
Right. I will too, man.
Hey, at least the
I
comments
like
were
cooking.
nicer.
I like, you know, I like,
Where's
right.
Lindsay?
Well, hey,
at? I
look,
wanted to see if she
so
was still
something that I learned in life,
there,
well,
Lindsay.
here's something,
She hate watching
here's
right
something
now.
that men need to learn. Um, men really need to learn this, okay? That, and it's especially prudent as a man, but it applies to women as well. If people won't tolerate an asshole, okay, they just won't
But if
do
you
it.
do, get some lotion for sure.
People will learn very
You have
quickly.
to tolerate it.
People will learn. People will learn really quickly if you're an asshole, and they're not going to tolerate it. But if you're a good cook and you're an asshole, they'll put up with you. They'll put up with your shit. If you feed them good, right? You can say anything you want about them, because you feed them good. And I learned this in the military watching our cooks, because our cooks were assholes, most of them. But they could cook freaking good. And you knew, number one, this person can spit in my food if they want to. So you didn't want to go down that road. But two, on a submarine especially, but really anywhere you go, food, we underestimate the value of our morale based on the quality of our food that we get or don't get. When you're getting good food and you're getting fed well, you'll put up with a lot of bullshit. You'll be like, you know what? I just had one freaking bomb ass steak and some fucking hot ass rolls that were stuffed with some honey butter. And you go up and your boss tears your ass. You're like, yeah, whatever, motherfucker. I'm filled with some prime rib right now. I don't give a damn what you got to say. Yeah. So food has a lot to do with it. And I enjoy cooking for people, but there's another, you know, I wouldn't say it's a hidden motive. It's just something that I learned over the years, you know. People put up with your bullshit if you cook good for them.
Truth. That is true, Cash. That's true.
Now,
but you know what? I'll tell you what. Maybe we should do a whole panel discussing what MRE shit does to a body after 20 years. You want to tell them?
Oh, dude. Oh, yeah. Oh, hey. Yeah, that's kind of a nasty topic, right? Because I'll tell you what, being on the submarine, it fucked me up. And I'll tell you what, it's an R-rated story of, I had to get taken off the submarine and I had to get looked at. And it was not pleasant. It's one of the most uncomfortable, unpleasant things that any middle-aged man will ever have to endure. And it was fucking awful. It was downright demeaning what happened to me.
Let's actually.
Which is one reason I just.
Good, real quick. Tammy has a question for you here. What is the best advice for women? Serious from a man's point of view, Cash? What is the best advice for women from a man's point of view? And be serious because they're listening.
Yeah, it's a serious question, and it warrants a serious answer. So, number one, Tammy, thanks for asking a sincere and thought-provoking question.
This shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm
When
out.
he's done, when he's done messing with me, I'll try and give a straight answer here. Best advice for women from a man's point of view. I think one of the most important aspects that women miss, especially women that didn't have their dads substantially involved or have a healthy relationship with their father, is that, you know, the way that a woman was created and the way that a man was created, I believe is by design and by purpose, that man and woman were made to complement one another, not to compete with one another. And in our country, we've developed this mindset within our young girls that they have to compete with men, and they don't. I welcome women to go into any field or whatever their dreams and their ambitions are. I want them to be able to pursue them equally as any man could. But I really love when women appreciate how they were made, what their value is, and what they bring to the table based upon They're very complex and beautiful design, and we're losing that. We're losing the identity of the American, or not even, I think just, women in general. I mean, whether you're here or in Russia or anywhere else, that, I don't know, CJ's down there like kind of, what did CJ do? CJ down there, I don't know what's happening. I'm missing something somewhere. Either way, let me finish what I got to say here. We have to appreciate how we're made. Look, I believe that I was made to be a protector and a provider, but in today's society, we also live now in a world in which, as men, we've now come to the conclusion that, well, okay, we've kind of been, I don't want to say driven from our natural role, but the role where men excel the most in protecting and in providing for a family, they've clearly been shown the door and that we're no longer needed. As a sex in this country, straight white men got shown the door a long time ago when we determined that, well, you only need to see your kids every other weekend. You don't need to have any contact with them. We can take them from you whenever we want to. We can withhold them whenever we want to. We can make false claims about you with impunity. We can, in fact, write down your name on a birth certificate with no evidence to prove that you're the father and get you hammered by the state. We'll use the state as a weapon against you. And that's what's been done. And so we've shown men in this country that they're not valued any longer. And that is causing a larger divide between the sexes. That now what feminism has done and the far left has done has driven this wedge between men and women where there shouldn't be. I could never replace the traits and qualities that a healthy mother would bring to the rearing of children. And we're missing healthy men and women because we're telling women, number one, you don't need a man. You're right, ladies, you don't need a man. Those kids need a man. They need their father. So when you're hearing this, that you're an independent woman, guess what? Your kids are not independent children. They need to be taught and mentored and loved by both mother and father. By both. They need to be raised equally by both. And if we remove the conflict in the litigation, we stop using money and children to control us in our decision makings about how we handle a breakup in a relationship, man, we'll see our world begin to change around us. But we have to caution both our girls and our boys, because our girls they're led to believe that they're winning, and they're not. We've convinced our girls and our women that they're winning because they're prevailing in court. Predominantly, we know that with 80-85% of full custody goes to moms, 80-85% of all child support is paid by fathers. Nearly 90% of all child support that is unpaid is owed by fathers living at and below the poverty line. There's a huge disparity in the treatment. And it's not because women are superior in any capacity or that you fit the mold to be the better parent. What it amounts to is that you are being used by the state. They drive out the protector / provider who is the father. That's how the state steps in and then assumes the role, the natural role. And you allow it because now the state comes in and offers you benefits. The state offers you protection from that man that you want out of your life, even if it's for a good reason, right? That man might be broken. He might need to be healed. But I would argue the way that we're doing business in this country, is going to do far more harm to our girls and our women, because you're going to lose out on the best protectors and providers that nature had ever designed. We got to have healthy boys. For healthy boys to grow up into healthy men and have healthy relationships with healthy women, they need their dads involved. And dads need the opportunity to make mistakes and to learn and to grow as parents, the same as afforded to moms. We're not afforded the same luxury of making a mistake, because as soon as you fuck up as a dad, they are pinning you to the wall. You're a monster. You will be made out to be a monster if you do something wrong. And mothers, where they get you is once they've driven us out of the life of our children, and you're now vulnerable to the state, you're far more likely to have an allegation of abuse or neglect levied at you from somewhere that would be unfounded. Now, I've called Child Protective Services on a couple of occasions, and I believe it's still warranted today. You know, my kids have been kidnapped from me. How in the fuck Child Protective Services doesn't get involved in this is beyond my realm of understanding. Other than, you know, part of the bias that exists within our government towards fathers. Noting that and annotating that, it doesn't make me anti-woman. It just makes me a realistic person that can sit down and look at the numbers and have a conversation about them. Lucas Ward, thanks for joining us. You're an unfamiliar name to me. And anybody I key in on that, I'd like to welcome you to the broadcast. Thanks for joining us. Just FYI, this is not a show for kids. We try to make sure that we give that disclaimer to people that they can make a parental choice on whether or not their kids are within earshot of this show, because we're going to discuss issues at an hour in which hopefully most kids are in bed where they should be, and we can just have frank and open adult conversation. But with your statement here, the harm has already been done. They crushed Black Americans early on and are now crushing white Americans. Next will be Hispanic Americans. Yeah, you're correct, Lucas. But they did it. They did it with Native Americans, and we stood idly by as that happened. We allowed for them to be dehumanized, and this is just a fact. Okay, doesn't make me some white apologist to recognize the atrocities that occurred, even if my ancestors or potential ancestors were a part of that, which I don't know, because I don't know my family history very well. But anyways. That trauma is then handed down from generation to generation. It is an intergenerational trauma that's occurring at the hands of the state, right? It's occurring at the hands of the state because we as a society haven't recognized that there's millions of us and only a couple of them. We possess superior power in every capacity. In every capacity. I am a staunch supporter and defender of the Second Amendment. And it never fails. I will get into a discussion with somebody predominantly from the left who will go, well, your AR-15s aren't going to stop, you know, like if it was between you and the American government, right? The implication here is that with an AR-15, we can't stop the American government because they're too powerful, even with the millions of guns that we have here in this country. And the person's short-sighted, and they certainly don't look at history very well. Been the most resilient force that I think the United States has ever had the displeasure of being locked in perpetual battle with. Why? Because the terrain and the nature and the culture of those people, right, and their fighting skills, they were born and bred and die fighting. They live some of the most difficult lives that you could ever imagine. And they're resilient. The most dangerous weapon that was ever created was that of the human spirit. Bar none. There's nothing more dangerous than that. Not the American government, not a nuclear missile, nothing. The human spirit is what compels us onward. It's what compels our innovation and our compassion and our seeking for a deeper understanding of one another and how to grow as a race of people on this planet. We can defend this nation against a tyrannical government with only the Second Amendment. You damn right we can. And if you don't believe it, well, let me tell you something. The man who says he can and the man who says he can't, they're both right. You get to choose which one of those people you will be. The person that says that you can or the person that says that you can't. Hold on, let me grab a charger. I got like 2% battery. I just looked at it and saw it. Hold on.
Uh-oh. The race for the phone charger. Oh, no. Will he actually make it in time?
Laptop charger.
We'll see. Yeah. We'll see.
Plenty of
Drum roll,
time.
please.
Plenty. Dun, 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 dun. Charging. Dun, 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 dun. I'm all wrapped up in cords. Yeah, so I that was probably a really, really long-winded answer for Tammy's question. So I to summarize best advice for women, just embrace who you are, right? There's beauty in aging gracefully. There's beauty in I'm not saying that you can't improve upon your person, right? But because I am not one. This is a sensitive topic, man. Damn, I'm about to go down a rabbit hole here. The whole fat shaming thing. Okay, that's a bunch of bullshit, right? When I say be who you are, you weren't made to be super overweight. Okay, it's a choice. If we're just honest, most of us, right? I got a little dad bod going. I'm getting a little plush around the middle. You got to take care of yourself. You got to take care of your body for you and your kids. We should be much better about how we treat ourselves and our body, and to ensure that we can live some good quality years for ourselves and for our kids. That's what I mean, though. Embrace who you are. Just embrace who you are. Accept who you are. Be honest about it. Throw it out there. Let people take it. If they don't like it, well, fuck them. What do you got, CJ? You're trying to throw something on me. We're over, man. We're like 27 minutes over the show, the broadcast. Right? We should have cut 27 minutes ago. Jesus. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate all of you. This is the War is Hell podcast with your host, Cash Jackson, and producer, CJ Abernathy. Thanks to our guest, Carrie Bentley, for joining us tonight. And we look forward to all growing together. We look forward to building relationships with you guys and supporting one another in this endeavor. If you've got musicians or friends that are artists that you think would benefit from getting their music here onto our show, we'll put them in contact with us. Send them over to CJ. Don't send them to me. Send them to CJ. Because I can't deal with the thousands of messages I get a day anyway. And we'll get them plugged in, man. We'd like to have their music on here with Nick Sky. And I do have some more applications I've got to get through.
Tell you what I can.
Yeah. We want y'all to be safe out there. We're going to be live Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 Central Standard Time. We're going to be broadcasting this as kind of a working man news network. Share it with your friends. Bring them along. You guys grab a 7 and 7, sit down, or grab a bowl, whatever you got, whatever your preference is. A cup of coffee. sit down with us, have a conversation. Let's talk about some of the deeper, more complex issues here ongoing in our country and how we can work together outside of government to benefit one another, build one another up, build our kids up, get more of us up out of poverty, get back in our communities, and really pour some real good, American spirit into our, men, women, and children. Man, we want purpose in life. We're seeking purpose in life, and we have that. And there's nothing stopping us, folks. There's nothing stopping us that we can come together and we can build some wonderful communities across this country where we just love one another, right? And we don't let the radicals or the extremes from either side. We got to be radical and extreme about common fucking sense in this country and getting government out of our lives. That's what's going to benefit everybody. So I think that's all that I got. I think those are my closing notes. Thanks for this Monday broadcast, and I hope you all had a Merry Christmas and are looking forward to a wonderful New Year's Eve with me. Carrie Bentley, have a safe night up there in Washington State. Be good. And CJ with an outro. Hit it.
Action! Shut